A year after the divorce, my ex-wife's finger was on my doorbell, buzzing insistently into the dead of night. The moment I let her in, the trench coat slid from her shoulders and pulled on the floor, revealing a black-laced Betty underneath, the one I used to love seeing her in when things got intimate, but Clara was supposed to hate my guts. What was she doing showing up at my door dressed like the catch of the day? "What are you doing? I'm a respectable man now," I said, biting my lip to keep from drooling. A full year. No calls, no texts. We were supposed to be moving on, so what was this? A simple booty call, or was I walking into some kind of honey trap? For 12 months, I'd been a monk. No kissing, no hand-holding. Not so much as a suggestive text. I'd bent down, picked up her coat, and held it out for her to put back on. I may not be a saint, but if you're going to start a war, you need a damn good reason. As I stepped closer, the view only got better. Pale skin, curves that defied gravity, a masterpiece of flesh and bone. And what about now? Still a respectable man, she purred, turning her back to me and bending over just so. Damn it, she still remembered my playbook. 40 minutes later, the battle was over. Then, I was calling for ceasefire. Okay, spell, what do you want? I leaned back against the headboard, my arms still around the woman who was now curled up against me like a kitten. We were adults. A sacrifice this big had to come with an ulterior motive if she just wanted a one-night stand. She could have found a fresh new ride, not an old classic with some miles on the engine. Her eyes shimmering, she shot me a playful glare. She shifted away, putting a few inches of distance between us that had that distinct "thanks for the ride, now can't vibe." Is that really all you think of me? Clara pouted, a hint of genuine annoyance in our voice. Well, either that, or you've been field testing a few other guys and decided my performance was still the gold standard. Her brow furrowed. David. Where? Your mouth is still just as foul as it ever was, huh? You fell for this foul mouth once, didn't you? Clara had been the girl everyone had a crush on in our major back at Northwestern. I made the first move, but the attraction quickly became mutual. She loved my snark. And I loved everything else. I reached over and gave her a playful pat on the butt. All right. State your business or hit the road if the service was satisfactory. We can schedule another appointment. It was late. I needed to sleep. She bit her lip, hesitating for a moment before the words came out. My dad. He's sick. He just had surgery, and his memory is scrambled. He keeps asking where you've been. A genuine spike of concern hit me. What's wrong with him? Is it serious? Her expression turned heavy, and she just chewed on her lip without answering. I didn't press. Instead, I followed her train of thought. Don't tell me he's forgotten we got divorced. As possible, so you want him to stay here with me. He knew he needed something. My condo was huge, a 5-bedroom with a sprawling living room overlooking the lake. There was more than enough space. She nodded, then seemed to reconsider, as if asking was too much. If you don't want to, just forget I said anything. A slow grin spread across my face. She'd shown up on my doorstep because she knew I owed her. Knew I wouldn't be able to say no, but she didn't need to go to all this trouble. Even without this, I would have said yes. I still carried the weight of what I owed her. I'll do it on one condition. I said you move into. I didn't have a girlfriend. Coming home to this massive, empty condo every night was getting old. The idea of having a woman in the house again, especially this woman. I couldn't find a reason to refuse. Thank you, David. She practically beamed. Great for her, terrible for me after a year-long dry spell. I wasn't sure my body could handle this kind of double-time duty. We sealed the deal with another round that ended far too quickly. As we lay there, she looked at me with those starry eyes and started laying down the new house rules. Okay. If I'm living here, you can't bring any girlfriends home for the night, and you're not allowed to get a girlfriend, period. For now. I agreed without a second thought. Who needed a girlfriend? I had my ex-wife living with me. It was a hell of a loophole. All I wanted was the fun, and it didn't matter who was providing it. Besides, Clara was beautiful, experienced, and knew exactly what I wanted in you. Yes, you got a boyfriend I should know about. Wouldn't you like to know? She said, her voice full of mystery. Clara, don't make me the other guy. I warned. My voice half serious. How about some standards? Shut up. The next day, Clara and Herd had moved in the moment Mr. Rodriguez saw me. He wrapped me in a bear hug. He wouldn't let go of David, my boy. Where have you been? Another business trip? Clara's been worried sick about you lost so much weight. It seems he really had no memory of the divorce. Maybe it was for the best. Some adult problems are better left unknown to the older generation. Yeah, I was traveling for work. And look, I got us a new place as soon as it was ready. I had to get you and Clara over here, I said, patting his back reassuringly. Clara shot me a grateful smile and a subtle kiss sign. So when you can give me some grandkids, he pressed. Dad, David and I have a plan. We were thinking maybe next year. Clara jumped in smoothly. Next year and the year after that and the year after that. We just keep kicking the can down the road until he wasn't around to ask anymore. No, tonight, Dad. We're doing it tonight. This father-daughter duo was treating me like some kind of prize bull. Listen to me. I don't want to close my eyes for the last time without seeing my grandchild. Mr. Rodriguez said, his voice thick with emotion. Dad, what are you talking about? Clara's eyes immediately reddened clearly. His illness was serious. The surgery must have been a big one. Just listen to your dad, I said, patting her shoulder to comfort her. Gah. David, get in there and take your wife to the bedroom right now. It's not even dark out. We haven't even showered. I stammered. Do as I say. Go plant the seeds. Well, can't argue with a command like that. You got it, sir. With that, I swept Clara into my arms. I marched into the master bedroom and tossed her onto the king-size bed. Here I come. Clara Bane Anna. The foot connected squarely with my chest. I grabbed her stocking foot midair and, following a primal instinct, started kissing it. Just like that. All the fight went out of her. We were just about to engage in close quarters combat. When the phone on the bed beneath her started vibrating, it was muffled, but you could still hear the ringtone. What's wrong, Jack? Clara answered, her voice suddenly gentle as she tried to catch a breath. Clara. I was locking up after my shift, and I slammed my hand in the door. It's a prepo. They hurt so much. There was a boy's voice, young and whining. What? You're hurt. Just wait. I'm on my way. A rare look of panic crossed Clara's face. She shoved me off her. She didn't even bother to find her bra. Just pulled her coat on over the waist steady and bolted. He jammed his hand. How bad can it be that he has to call you? I grumbled, my frustration mounting. This kid was a world-class. That skill to pull Clara out of a moment like that. He had to mean something to her. He's only 20. All alone in a new city. He needs to feel like someone cares. I wanted to give her a sarcastic round of applause. Say, Clara, mother to the lost boys, he has hurt, so I have to take him to the hospital myself. I'll go with you. I had to see what kind of guy could get Clara this worked up. No, you can't. I don't want him to get the wrong idea. I stared at her, an innocent look plastered on my face. As she rushed out the door, why would my presence give him the wrong idea, unless they were already a thing? I was just curious, that's all. I wanted to see what kind of pretty boy had my ex-wife in such a tizzy. I watched Clara hop into a cab, and I started my car and followed at a safe distance. She owned a chic little beauty salon in River North, and business was good as her cab pulled up to the curb. A tall, lanky kid rushed out and threw his arms around her, sobbing dramatically. He was a head taller than her, a total string bean. But you could see he was one of those handsome, delicate types. Clara, my hand hurt so bad. My God, this kid Jack was a master of melodrama. Sure, it's okay, Don't cry, let me see, she cooed, gently taking his hand and blowing on it like he was 5. I had to stifle a laugh. It was like watching a nanny with her charge. A moment later, Jack was all smiles. I feel much better now, thanks, Clara. Any time now, let me take you home. No, Clara. I'm hungry. Can we get something to eat? Of course, what are you in the mood for? I want to go to that restaurant where we first met. Clara agreed without a second of hesitation. They got into another cab, and I followed them to a trendy upscale spot in the West Loop. They sat at a table by the window, giving me a perfect, infuriating view from the street. During the meal, Jack produced a bouquet of flowers, like a cheap magician pulling a rabbit from a hat. Clara accepted them with a delighted smile, even posing for a picture on his phone, flashing a peace sign. I let out a cold, humorless laugh. So this was her game. I wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend, but she was out playing the field. I lit a cigarette, not because I was angry, but because a sudden tightness had gripped my chest. It didn't matter who she dated, really, as long as he wasn't a carbon copy of my younger. Stu hit herself after the photo. Clara put the flowers down and headed to the restroom, leaving her phone on the table. Jack picked it up and, to my astonishment, dialed a number. My phone buzzed in my hand. Is this David? Clara's ex-husband? A smug, saccharine voice oozed through the speaker. Clara is not coming home tonight, so don't wait up. He was practically giggling. I chuckled. Even if she wasn't coming home, he was the last person who should be telling me this. This was a clear provocation. I decided to play along. Oh, you must be Jack, the little pretty boy she mentioned who's looking for a sugar mama. You asked. Clara would never say that about me. You must be jealous. Jealous of what? Hey, we should get a drink sometime, I offered, my voice dripping with fake sincerity. I'd love to get your take on the joys of a seasoned woman. He thought he had already won, that I was yesterday's news, so he kept pushing. Sure. I know all about Clara. I know how much she hates it when you kiss her feet. Drives her crazy, right? Silence on his end for a bee that was trying to get under my skin by claiming my territory. So is her dad settling in okay at your place? He asked. My brow furrowed. She told him about that too. Yeah, that was my idea. He bragged of her dad's with you. She has more time to spend with me. My eyelids shot open. I clenched my jaw. Well, thanks for that, you real pal. No problem. Mere experienced women are so fun and so gullible. Thanks for training her for me, bro. Up until that moment, I genuinely hadn't cared what their relationship was. But now this little prick was intentionally stomping all over my pride. He successfully pissed me off. A cold, vicious smile crept onto my face. In all those trashy web novels, doesn't the scumbag rival always post pictures with the hero's girl on social media to drive him crazy and win? Fine, you can play at that game. Hey, why don't you add me on Instagram? We can chat more, I suggested, going on the offensive. I created a burner account on the SBO, convinced of his inevitable victory. Accepted immediately. You are you talking to, Jack? Clara was back at the table. He hadn't even hung up. He wanted me to hear this. Oh, just your ex. He called to ask when you were coming home. Sorry, sis. I told him you weren't. Am I surprised? Clara didn't get mad. She just smiled. That is fine. If I'm not going back, I could spend more time with you. You, Ray the best, Clara. I opened Jack's Instagram profile. The whole damn feed was a shrine to their love story. The day I met her, we had dinner. The second day, we saw a rom-com. Very single picture featured my ex-wife, and just 3 minutes ago, he posted a new one. It was the picture he'd just taken. Clara, face flushed, eyes hazy, biting her lip. I knew that look. It was her tell when she'd been drinking. The caption was the final nail in the coffin. Tonight, a perfect dinner. A little wine to set the mood. And she just agreed to get a hotel with me. Winky face. My face was a stone mask. I squeezed my fist so tight my nails dug into my palm. Jack, you little punk. You just wait. I drove home and shook Mr. Rodriguez awake. I told him how late it was and that Clara still wasn't back. "I'll call her," he declared, grabbing his phone. "Hello? Clara, why aren't you asleep yet?" From the sound of her voice, muffled and low. "She was probably in a room somewhere. Where are you? Get home this instant, Mr. Rodriguez ordered while they were talking. I scrolled through the kid's Instagram again 2 minutes ago. Another post. Clara and I are at the hotel, got one room. I offered to sleep on the floor, but she said no, and he had the audacity to post a picture of Clara from behind my favorite view. Damn it. Jack. A man has his limits. I'm at a friend's place. Hey, don't take that off. What? Take what off, Mr. Rodriguez asked, confused. I bit my lip. Her clothes. Obviously, or hell, Andre, nothing, she said quickly. Give me half an hour. I'll be home half an hour. A lot can happen in half an hour. I scribbled a few words on a piece of paper and showed it to her. Dad. Get home right now or we're cutting you off. Mr. Rodriguez nodded at me with a look of profound satisfaction and repeated my words verbatim into the phone. Clara always listened to her father except this time. It seems she wouldn't. I really can't leave now. Just give me half an hour. Mr. Rodriguez suddenly broke into a fit of violent coughing. Oh, God. I don't feel so good. My head is spinning. Dad. What's wrong? I had to give him credit. The man was a born actor. Dad. I'm on my way. I'll be right there. You really leaving, Clara? That was Jack's voice in the background. I have to, she said, and the line went dead. Mr. Rodriguez let out a triumphant laugh and held up his hand for a high five as our palms slapped together. I looked at him more closely. He didn't look like a man who'd just had major surgery or was suffering from memory loss. He looked like a sharp, energetic old man who was completely in his right mind. 20 minutes later, Clara burst through the door and found us both waiting for her in the living room. Dad, are you okay? She asked, rushing to his side. I'm fine now. David gave me some medicine, feeling much better. Thank you, she said, looking up at me with gratitude. Don T. Just thank me with words. I smirked. She shot me a glare. What do you want then? We're to make us some pasta, right, Dad? I asked, turning to my co-conspirator. Yes. I'm starving. Fine, she huffed, stomping reluctantly into the kitchen to boil water and find some spaghetti. Watching her from behind, a perfect view under the kitchen lights, I grinned. From this moment on, the counterattack had officially begun. I slipped quietly into the kitchen and wrapped my arms around her from behind. Her body fit against mine like a key in a lock. What are you doing? Don't move, Dad. As watching from the living room, I whispered in her ear, you don't want him to find out we're faking it, do you? All the fight instantly drained out of her. Bend over just a little. That's it. Where? You're getting a spanking, I murmured. Yeah, just like that. Much more comfortable for me. The water was boiling over on the stove, but Clara was in no condition to deal with it. Her whole body was trembling. I love this. It was thrilling, holding another man's girl. I tilted my head up slightly and flashed a peace sign at the tiny me security camera I'd installed in the corner of the kitchen. Just as I felt her reaching a breaking point, I let her go. She swayed, nearly falling, and had to brace herself against the counter. She turned and shot me a look of pure venom. I slipped back into my bedroom and pulled up the video feed. I took a screenshot of the perfect moment, a clear shot of Clara's profile, and an even clearer one of my beaming, triumphant face. I posted it to my burner Instagram account. The caption read, my ex-wife still tastes as good as ever, so beautiful, some things a kid will never understand. Like the feeling of holding her from behind while she makes you a late night snack because she's worried you're hungry is so much better than some cheap takeout. I posted it, but it still didn't feel like enough. I added a comment, and after we eat, she promised we'd get in a little exercise. Life is good. My burner account was set so only Jack could see the post. Checkmate. You little punk. Mr. Rodriguez didn't touch his food. I devoured both massive bowls of pasta. He was probably worried. I needed to conserve my energy for later. This guy, his father-in-law, was a keeper. Alright. I'm finished. You kids go get some rest. Young people need their sleep. An old man like me, I don't need much anymore. Good night, Dad. Good night. As he turned to leave, I could have sworn I saw him flash a sneaky little smile. David, you can't sleep in the same bed with me anymore. Clara tried to push me away. Why not? It's my house. I'll sleep wherever I damn well please. Fine. You take the bed. I'll sleep on the floor, she declared, getting up to pull a blanket from the bottom of the closet. Will you keep it down? Dad's definitely listening outside the door, I hissed, pointing toward the hallway. A sliver of light from the living room shone under the door, bisected by a dark shadow. And what are we supposed to do? Make some noise. Clara's face flushed crimson. She glared at me, but then gave a reluctant nod. Okay. Let's begin, I whispered, waving my arms in the air like a symphony conductor. A little crescendo here. Some feelings. He shot me a look of pure disgust and kicked me, sending me tumbling to the floor. You are so annoying. Can you ever say anything normal? I hadn't been expecting it, and I let out a loud YL pow. Honey, you're hurting me. David, what's wrong? Mr. Rodriguez's anxious voice came from the other side of the door. He really was listening. It's nothing. Dad, your daughter just got a little too excited and nearly broke me. Be careful, Amir. Don't try any of those crazy, dangerous moves. But hey, as long as you're having fun, it's good for young people to be creative. He advised sagely. He must have been a real player in his day. His words made even me blush, and Clara had already buried her head under the covers in shame. After she surrendered completely, she snuggled into my arms. David, what are we right now? We're having an affair, I said. You right, arable. She swatted my chest. Do you think your little boyfriend Jack would try to kill me if he knew we were sleeping together? Her brow furrowed for a second. Then a mischievous smile spread across her face. He totally would. But I haven't said yes to him yet. Do you think I should? You're asking me? Just say yes to him, I said, my voice heavy with fake melancholy. That way, I can officially say my ex-wife cheated on me. David, you're an asshole. I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm just kidding. If he's good to you, then you should go for it. I was lying through my teeth. She could be with anyone. Just not that little punk. I just hope this isn't our last night together. Here, let's take a picture. A little memento so you don't forget me when you're famous. I held up my phone and aimed it at us. What are you doing? Don't get my face. What are you afraid of? Click. Even though she covered her face with her hands, I knew Jack would recognize her instantly. I posted it to my private story. Just finished round 1 with the ex, feeling refreshed and full of energy. Time for a short break before we go again. Jack, you want to compete with me? Don't you know the saying about proximity and opportunity? A 1 to punch of Instagram posts should be enough to knock him out. I checked the time. 1100 p. Worried he might already be asleep, I sent him a direct message. Just updated my story. 2 minutes later, I unsent it. Then I sent another message. Sorry. Wrong person. Go back to sleep. I had to make sure that even if he was asleep, my message would wake him up, force him to check his phone, and spend the rest of the night staring at the ceiling. Stewing in his own misery, Clara went to the bathroom to shower. I got out of bed and switched on a new signal jammer I bought now. Even if that kid tried to call her in the middle of the night, the call wouldn't go through. He'd be stuck watching my stories and cursing my name. Exhaustion leads to deep sleep. I woke up to sunlight streaming through the window, and Clara was already up. She was in the kitchen, playing the part of the dutiful wife, making breakfast, though a blind man could see she just bought it from the bakery downstairs and was reheating it. Who cares? It's the thought that counts, and the opportunity. I shut it out. ready to rub it in bacon, sausage, eggs. A bowl of oatmeal, and was that a giant steak? Thanks, had he. I got it myself, just in time she shot me a glare. I couldn't let this moment go to waste. I grabbed a fancy platter from the cabinet, arranged the food in a heart shape with the steak right in the middle. What are you doing now? Claire demanded. Presentation is everything, don't you think? It tastes better this way, I said. Snapping a picture you way more extra than most girls I know, she muttered. I didn't argue. I posted the picture with the caption, my ex-wife really does still love me, worried. I was tired out last night, so she woke up early to make me this feast. She even got me a huge steak. I feel like the luckiest man alive. Anyone want to challenge me? I was throwing down the gauntlet if Jack didn't respond. He was nothing but a coward. I got to the office, approved a few documents, and settled in for a quiet day. Then my phone buzzed. It was him, using my own tactic against me. A message appeared. Updated my story 2 minutes later. It was unsent, followed by, sorry, sent that to the wrong person. I smirked, so he was declaring war. I tapped on his Instagram story. He was straight up copying me. A picture of a fancy coffee and decroissant on the caption told, Clara said I didn't have time for breakfast and she went out and brought me this, feeling energized and ready to take on the world. A few minutes later, another post. And she's taking me out for a surf and turf lunch to make up for leaving in a hurry last night. That's gotta be expensive, but she insisted on treating. I feel so lucky. Anyone want to challenge me? The kid was using my exact words. A blatant provocation. He had to be answered decisively. I sat at my desk, tapping my fingers on the polished wood. A slow, wicked grin spread across my face. I called my assistant and listened. If something happens to me in a few minutes, I need you to call this number, I said, handing him a slip of paper with Claire's name on it. Don't he say anything else? Just call. I also sent him downstairs to buy me a bottle of tart cherry juice. I opened the bottle and poured half of it down the toilet. A few minutes later, I started convulsing, clutching my stomach and collapsing onto the floor in a theatrical display of agony. Help, somebody help me, I gasped. My assistant heard my cries from outside the door and immediately made a call. Hello? Is this Clara? It's David. I think he's having an allergic reaction. It looks like he's not going to make it. My assistant deserved an Oscar. He was actually crying. Where is he? I'm coming right now. 15 minutes later, Clara burst into my office, arriving even before the ambulance I hadn't called. I have a severe cherry allergy. A sip can cause a reaction. A gulp could be fatal. I was lying on the floor, my head in her lap, listening to her choke sobs. I slowly fluttered my eyes open. Clara, if I'm dying, the company, it's all yours, I whispered dramatically, fumbling to produce cheese, one for my Audi, the other for my office. If I really were dying, I'd want her to have it all. I owed her that much. We'd been together from college orientation to our wedding day, a classic campus to chapel love story. After we got married, I started my business and was constantly traveling. She got pregnant, but, with my parents gone, she was left to take care of herself. One day she fell. The fall caused a miscarriage. She didn't cry, didn't scream. She just looked at me with empty eyes and said, let's get a divorce. I tried to win her back, offered her 50% of the company, but she refused everything. Don't you dare talk like that, she cried, pulling me into a hug and kissing me desperately. Tears streamed down her face, landing on my cheeks. After a long moment, she pulled away, but her expression had changed. The grief was gone, replaced by the faint upward curl of her lips. A smile? Was she happy I was dying? Clara, if I die, don't mourn me, find a good man. Be happy. Oh, I will, she shot back, her voice dripping with sarcasm. I'll find a hot young stud and see what I've been missing. She was trying to piss me off. Fine. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction. My eyes rolled back into my head and I went limp. What is taking that ambulance so long? Fine. I'll call 911 again. The moment I heard her say 911, My eyes snapped open. I hadn't had anyone call them in the first place. She was staring right at me, feeling better? My head. I mumbled, pretending not to understand. I closed my eyes again, feigning unconsciousness just then. Her phone rang. I could hear the voice on the other end Clara. "It's Jack. He tripped and hit his head on the floor. He's unconscious. What the hell?" That little punk was using the exact same trick. This was a battle for who she cared about more. And from the look on her face, I was about to lose. Clara gently lifted my head, about to place it on the sofa. I threw my arms around her waist, clinging to her like my life depended on it. "Clara, are you going to leave me?" I whimpered. "I'm so scared. I don't want to die alone." Clara bit her lips. She clenched her fists, looking like she wanted to punch me. "Fine," she sighed. "I'll stay with you for a little while longer." She picked up her phone and dialed a number. "I'm tied up with something over here when the paramedics get there. Can you go with Jack to the hospital?" After hanging up, she couldn't help but laugh. "You, Ray man, and you're still so childish." Jack was probably at the hospital by now, getting a dose of reality. He sat up and stretched. "Phew, close call. Good thing I only had a little bit. I live to fight another day. Thanks for saving me, ex-wife." I grinned at her. "Now that you're fine, I'm leaving," she said. Knowing full well it had all been a performance, she shot me a glare. "You, Ray, going to see Jack, aren't you?" I asked. Staring her down, she gave me a suspicious look, then nodded. "I'm coming with you. And don't even try to say no." "Why would you go?" "To give you a ride." "Of course, fine." I drove her to the hospital. "Okay. You can go now." "Nope. I'm coming up with you. It would be rude not to check on the little guy after such a scare." I stopped at the hospital gift shop and bought a fruit basket. I was tempted to buy a funeral wreath to Jack. Get well soon. Or don't. And we got to his room. The moment Jack saw Clara, he shot up in bed, looking perfectly fine, but when his eyes landed on me, standing behind her, his face fell. "On the way over, your girl Clara and I were debating whether a bump on the head could actually kill a person," I said cheerfully, taking a seat by his bed. "Before we came up, we were even wondering where you could buy a decent wreath around here. Those things are surprisingly hard to find." "Clara, why is he so vicious? What did I ever do to him?" Jack whined, looking like he was about to cry. "David, apologize," Clara ordered, glaring at me. My comment had definitely crossed a line. I just shrugged. "No thanks. I'll go get you some water." I grabbed his cup and went to the water cooler. I filled it to the brim with boiling hot water. "Here you go," I said. My tone now contrite. "The doctor said you should drink plenty of hot water. That's good for you." Seeing my apparent change of heart, he smirked with a look of smug victory. He took the cup, raised it to his lips, and took a huge gulp. "Wait!" His lips trembled as he leapt out of bed, a primal scream tearing from his throat. The hot water from the cup flashed out, scalding his crotch. A chain reaction of pain. He was howling, hopping from one foot to the other. "See? You should have let me finish," I said calmly. "I was going to say, drink plenty of hot water, but be careful, it's hot. David, have you had enough?" Clara snarled, her voice dangerously low. "I've had enough," I said with a grin. "I'll pay for the medical bills. How about that?" I just wanted to see how he was doing. And based on that little dance, I'd say he's going to be just fine. We can go home with a clear conscience. Dad is waiting for us. You know, I slung my arm around Clara's shoulder, dropping the dad bomb with my trump card. "She had to come with me." "Clara, you're just going to abandon me?" Jack cried, his face a mask of sorrow. "Of course not, Jack. But I have to get home. Call me if you need anything." What she needed to get home to was her father, who on my instructions had told her they both needed to be home early from work to spend time with him. On the way back, Clara was still fuming. What you did today was completely out of line, was it? I asked innocently. With a punk like him, sometimes you have to go out of line to teach him a lesson. 2 days later on the weekend, Jack was discharged from the hospital. Clara picked him up during her workday. The little punk couldn't resist posting about it on Instagram. I left a simple comment under his post. So, did the skin peel off down there? A few minutes later, the post was deleted after work. Clara called and told me to go home first and start dinner. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went home and whipped up a feast, most of which consisted of $0 delivery deals from my various food apps. Why pay when you can get it for free? An hour later, Clara came home, and she wasn't alone. She brought the little punk with her. She was planning on letting him freeload off my dinner. A hot flash of anger surged through me. Clara, what the hell is this? I demanded. You don't think you should have given me a heads up before bringing a stranger into my home? Any other stranger? Maybe, but him. Absolutely not David. Don't be so stingy, Jack. Just got out of the hospital. He doesn't have anyone to look after him. I was worried he'd be lonely. So I brought him over for one meal. That's not a big deal, is it? Was she a saint? Or was she just clueless? I forced a smile, my teeth clenched. David, are you really upset? Jack asked, his face a perfect mask of innocence. I'm sorry if it's a problem. I can just go. He stood there, not moving a muscle without a word. I walked to the front door, opened it, and gestured for him to leave. Clara's face flushed with embarrassment. David, I already brought him here. You can't do this. If he leaves, I'm leaving with him. She was really digging her heels in for this kid. Fine. Both of you can get out, they said, the anger finally boiling over her. In your dreams. I'm not going anywhere, she shot back with a cold smile, plopping herself down on the sofa. She then turned to Jack. Make yourself at home. Whatever you want to eat or drink, just help yourself. Don't be shy. She smiled sweetly at Jack, then turned to me with a scowl. Well, aren't you going to get another set of plates and silverware? I'm starving. I pointed a trembling finger at her. The audacity. What's all the shouting about? Mr. Rodriguez emerged from his room. A cold smile touched my lips. Nothing. That just one of Clara's colleagues came over for a free meal. Since he's here, he might as well eat. We were just going to be feeding the leftovers to the dog anyway. My mind was already racing. If I couldn't kick him out, I'd switch tactics. Oh, Mr. Rodriguez said, glancing at Jack. Jack stood up respectfully. Hello, sir. Mr. Rodriguez gave him a curt, dismissive nod. I'll go get another place setting, I said. Getting for the kitchen. I'll help, Dad said, following me. Once we were out of earshot, he leaned in. David, I don't like the looks of that kid. I chuckled. The old man had sharp instincts. He's the one. Clara spent the night with that. As him? His eyes widened. Then we have to destroy him. I was a little stunned to hear that come out of his mouth. Absolutely. Great minds think alike. He slapped me on the back. Just follow my lead, David. You got it. A sly grin spread across my face. I went to the liquor cabinet and pulled out my prize bottle of ridiculously high-proof single-barrel bourbon. It was a shame to waste it on him. It would get the job done. We hadn't been eating for long when Clara suddenly felt nauseous. She covered her mouth and ran to the bathroom. Clara, are you okay? Mr. Rodriguez called out. I'm fine. I just feel like I'm gonna throw up. My eyebrows shot up. Throwing up? You don't think you're pregnant? No way. She probably just ate something that went bad. Jack chimed in. Son, did you not understand what David just said? He meant pregnant, as in with a baby. Mr. Rodriguez said, correcting him pointedly. Jack's face went pale. Oh, Dad. The other night I listened to you. We didn't use anything. That couldn't be that fast, could it? I set my eyes fixed on Jack. His fork froze halfway to his mouth. Huh? That's my boy. My father-in-law and I were putting on a master class. Jack was biting his lip so hard it was turning white. He took a nervous gulp of water. Sir, you probably don't know that Clara and him are divorced, do you? He blurted out, my eyes narrowed into slits. What did you just say? Am I wrong? Sir? The man sitting next to you. Your ex-son-in-law and Clara got divorced a year ago. They're putting on a show for you. They were pretending to be a couple now that the cat was out of the bag. I wasn't worried. I just watched Mr. Rodriguez's face, waiting for his reaction. I was sure Clara had warned the kid not to say anything, but he'd taken a risk. Mr. Rodriguez's expression showed only the slightest flicker of surprise. You two are divorced, David? He asked, turning to me. I paused for a moment, then nodded. Jack, unable to contain himself, whipped out his phone and pulled up a picture. It's true. Sir, I took a picture of Clara's divorce certificate. They are 100% divorced. Oh, they are. Well then, that's good. That's very good, Mr. Rodriguez said, his tone surprisingly cheerful. He didn't even glance at me again. Thank you for telling me, son. Let's have a drink. Yes. Sir, I'll drink the whole glass. You just have a sip. Jack was beaming, victory radiating from him. He tilted his head back and down the entire glass of bourbon. The high-proof liquor made his face contort for a second, but you could tell he was loving it. He even found a second to post to his Instagram story. I've earned Clara's dad's approval and I found out they're divorced. Lol, he's finished. I wonder if he'll cry when I invite him to the wedding. I refreshed my feed and left a comment. Dude, you've been drinking the cheap stuff, huh? He just smiled at me from across the table and replied to my comment. We'll see about that, ex-son-in-law. Hurry up and give Jack a refill, Mr. Rodriguez commanded. Sure, I said, getting up reluctantly to pour another full glass. Thanks, David. You're a bigger man than I thought, Jack slurred. Thrilled to see me being put in my place, sir. I'm so happy today. Let me toast you 30 more times. Good. 3 glasses later, Jack's face was betrayed, and his mouth was running a mile a minute, bro. No offense, but from now on, I'll be the one taking care of Clara. Thanks for, breaking her in for me. He downed another glass instead of getting angry. I smiled. That's some strong stuff. You should drink up. I'll need the energy for later. Right, David. And then, you're not so bad after all. He'd barely eaten anything, but we'd already poured 5 glasses down his throat. Maybe we should take him downstairs to the spa, get him a massage, I suggested. Yeah, I want a massage. I smirked and helped him to his feet. Mr. Rodriguez got up to help me support him. We shared a knowing look. We escorted the punk downstairs to a 24-hour spa. I used his phone to pay for the $498 VIP deep tissue massage package. A purely therapeutic one, of course. All right, David, you go on home. I'll take care of the rest. Clara is waiting for you, Mr. Rodriguez said, patting my shoulder. It was like he knew exactly what I was planning. Okay then. I turned and headed home. When I got back, Clara was sitting at the dining table, quietly eating. The moment she saw me, she jumped up. What did you do to Jack? What do you think I did to your little boy toy? A strange anger flared in my chest. If she hadn't brought him here, I wouldn't have wasted a good bottle of bourbon. Combined with the glass I'd had myself, a wave of heat washed over me. I grabbed her, spun her around, and pinned her against the wall. He asked, just like a little brother to me. Is he your little brother? I leaned in closer. I'm younger than you two. Does that make me your little brother? What are you doing? Let me go. The bourbon was fire in my veins. I felt my control slipping. I glanced at the clock. Jack should be on a massage table, getting worked on with a sharp whip. I tore her. Later, Clara was curled up against my chest like a kitten. He should be feeling pretty relaxed by now. She murmured, if a small glass made me this fired up, The amount Jack drank would turn him into an animal, and sure enough, he was getting very hands-on with his masseuse right at the peak of his enthusiasm. The door to the massage room burst open. Cops. They'd received an anonymous tip about illegal activities. To make matters worse, the masseuse started screaming that he had assaulted her. Clara, have you been lying to me? The day before, I'd had someone check the records of the hospital where her dad supposedly had a surgery. There was no record of a Mr. Rodriguez. I have, she admitted without shame. He never lost his memory. Of course. So you, Ray, moving in here, getting close to me. It was all a plan? It wasn't because he dated a bunch of guys in real life that was the best, was it? She punched my arm playfully. You a wish. Do you really think I'm that kind of person? I haven't touched another man in a year. You got lucky. She sighed him and we get divorced. And you even bothered to call me not once. I hated you for it, but then I started thinking, I gave you 5 years of my life. I helped you build all this. Why the hell should I let some other woman waltz in and drape all the rewards? She had a look of profound, cunning enlightenment on her face. Weren't you worried I might have a girlfriend? That would have made you the other woman. A home wrecker. You called me a seasoned woman, remember? What little 20-something can compete with my technique? Damn it, he knew me too well. I let out a long breath. I wasn't the hunter in this story. I was the prey. And I'd walked right into the trap. A month later, Clara really did get sick in the morning. I think I might actually be pregnant. Whose is it? The dog's. You idiot. It's Jack's. Isn't it? I smirked. Don't even mention his name. He was just a pawn to make you jealous. So, even if my dad and I hadn't called that night, you would have come home anyway? Of course. I was testing you. You fool. I wanted to see if you'd get jealous, but I hurt you. You told him not to take something off. I was talking about his shirt, you moron. He spilled ketchup on it and I was going to wash it for him. I said it that way so you'd get the wrong idea. She confessed. In another thing you think I didn't know, you were barking like a little puppy on your burner account. David, you're actually kind of adorable. She grinned, but I have to admit, I like it when you get jealous. Damn it, that father-daughter duo, they were devious. I constructed this entire elaborate scheme just to make me walk right back into their lives. I swatted her playfully on the backside. Bring it on, she challenged. Who's afraid of who? In the master bedroom, Mr. Rodriguez, who was supposedly fast asleep, slowly opened his eyes in the dark. A slow, satisfied smile spread across his teeth.